Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening, as we're now on Tuesday, the 10th of February, 2026. I'm looking at the time, just getting on to 6:40 p.m. Central Time. So gold was mostly lower today, and tonight getting another bid. President Trump, late in the day, started talking, and he said maybe it's time to send another carrier group to the Middle East. Tomorrow, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet with the president, and as you can imagine, there's going to be war talk if, and the word is if, Iran doesn't give up very quickly on its nuclear weapons. Now, there is a discrepancy, a difference between the U.S. and Israel. Israel wants, of course, and I don't blame them, that the missiles be controlled and they have a certain limit in their range because they're right in the firing line. They also smartly don't want to see Iran giving money to groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and creating all the mischief. But the U.S., I don't think, is concerned about that as much as they are the line in the sand on the nuclear. That doesn't mean that the president can't just say no. You've got to do everything that he's asking, otherwise he's going to go ahead and do what he does. And if he orders in another carrier group, you can imagine that he means real business. It's bad enough what's there. You bring another one in, and they're not going there just for a naval exercise. What part of the world can they make it there and what time? And he has also said that he expects to have a meeting with the Iranians, not him, but his people, next week. So if that doesn't take place, game over. All right, just a question of when in my head. I happen to think it's game over anyways. I think the Iranians would have to cave in on the nuclear and probably at a minimum something on the missile range in order to appease Israel. We'll see if that is the case or not. In terms of news, we have news tomorrow. You're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association Index. Mortgages might be slipping a little. If you're taking a look at the 10-year note, they're back from the 4.23 area back to 4.15. You have an important report in the non-farm payrolls tomorrow. So they're looking for an increase of 55,000 jobs. The unemployment rate to stay at 4.4%, and about a 0.3 of a point increase month over month on wages. Nothing dramatic. I question that number. I'm watching it. Labor index costs drop, as you saw this week already. Why does that have to go up? So that might be a number that you keep an eye on. We have a couple of Fed people tomorrow. We've got KC Fed President Schmidt, and we have Federal Reserve Governor Bowman speaking. There were a number of Fed talkers today, and the ones that are speaking so far are not in favor of doing anything on interest rates unless jobs get hurt. They're all of the same opinion that while they ultimately think inflation will come down to the Fed goal, it isn't right now, and they say that. And cutting interest rates right now might even set inflation up. So that's what you're hearing. You're going to get the all-important petroleum stocks report at 9:30 in the morning. So let's go back here and see what we have. The dollar was basically unchanged, down 0.13, and you're not getting much currency move. And while you're up $30 and $35 in the gold and up $1 in the silver, it's not $5 up in silver and up $100 in the gold. So some of the volatility is slowly coming out of these markets. Bonds and notes, I wouldn't expect very much out of them in front of the jobs report. Hearing that the president's thinking of another carrier group, if you think that's bearish energy, terrific. I don't view it that way at all. And on the grain markets, they're just sort of sitting. They had a USDA report and not much happening. So as we take a look at the gold market, you're up here, bucking, as you can see, the 5,000 level on a closing basis, and that's a weekly chart of only closes. When you come to a daily bar chart, you're right in the center of this whole trading pattern. Do you disagree with that? From high to low, you're about halfway through that right now. You can see that the pattern is one where you've had lower highs, lower lows. You need to get over this 51.11 mark, and that sets the market back up again. So I'd be paying close attention to where that's at right now. In terms of the 18-day average, the support's 49.74. When you look at the Bollinger Bands, they're far away from the market. So are they in play? Not immediately. They're there as resistance and support, but not immediate. And momentum is just flat as can be. So you're really not doing a lot one way or the other. When you look at the gold-silver ratio, it's still hanging in here in the 61.40 level. When we look at the silver market, we have lower highs, lower lows. It is still very much in the bear camp. If it were to take out 2 days ago's high right here of the 83.76 level, I could make an argument then to get back to the 18-day average, but that's about it. I'm just not in love with the silver chart. In the copper market, we have a pattern of lower highs. I believe you have higher lows, and you're stuck right in center line, the 18-day average. And that's how I started this off, saying, I don't think the volatility's here in all these markets the way that it was. In the platinum, it's no surprise that you got a bounce on the first challenge of the combination of the Bollinger Band 100-day average. It has been in a bear pattern. It's had a pattern from this high, lower highs, but it's trying to now make higher lows. So you're sort of bending the market. Now, if you got a piece of bear news, the big support would be probably here, 1841 to 1883, the combination of the 100-day and the Bollinger Band. And in the dollar, I'm still very much in the bear camp. I think the market is looking to be sold against that 18-day average. I wouldn't want to see the market, if I were a bear, get over this high. And downside, I can make an argument for easily the lower Bollinger Band of the 95.50 area. So it's one of those times that you pay attention. You pay attention to markets that embed, that lose it, that get it, that keep it, and you move with that. So it's an interesting time. Stock market, as you can see, getting up a little bit tonight at this point in time. We'll see what that's all about. But it was one of those Monday up, Tuesday down times. I was talking about that yesterday. I'm Ira Epstein. Remember, you can go to our website, get any of the information you need, sign up for our research, our courses. There'll be an icon up here. You can click here if you're watching us on YouTube, IraEpstein.com. Watch us in the other videos tonight, and you have yourself